Now let's talk about some of his analyses of your poems, and then we'll get back to the play. He has several here. "'Tis better to live than to receive," which is an interesting title that takes the "'tis better to live than to receive."
Better to give than to receive.
Napoleon footfalls, not Sisyphus, Stephen's on Safari, You Are All Desired, Midnight in the White Castle, Bloomington, Minnesota, Death of the Spike, Dan versus Robert Frost, Big Red, The Mothman, Thin, Siamese Reflection, George Snyder Plays Handball, 1933, The Shattered Kiss, Holy Sonnet 1, Holy Sonnet 2, and War Comics number 1452. I want to speak about one specific essay here, which I think is one of the better ones. Is Death of Spider Dan versus Robert Frost, Meaning of Elegance. This is a very good analysis of how time sort of complexifies. Because Robert Frost, he gets a moment, but yours kind of expands outward from it, and has several different ways of pulling out the rug, as Jian mentions here. Whereas the design poem, you begin to get into its quote-unquote designs so much that you know what's coming eventually. It's the same way that, say, Shakespeare is predictable versus, Walt Whitman. I could probably more accurately say Hart Crane or Wallace Stevens, where you could take any 14 lines from them and not know where it's going as compared to Shakespeare. The same has happened here, where Robert Frost is more predictable in pattern as compared to you.
Well, that's what I mentioned some months ago with this young girl on the list, Laura, the girl from Ireland, Laura Woods. She had said about how the reason Donne is superior to Shakespeare is that you know that Shakespeare just puts in words to fill out so-called meter, whereas Donne's words, all of them are carefully chosen. And I agree totally with that, and it is really an insightful and brilliant observation by a 20, 21-year-old, whatever she is. And I think that's true too. And I even suggested, I think in the comments there, that Jian, if he should expand this to include James Emanuel's poem about the spider, because Emanuel's poem is sort of a bridge between the two poems. Frost's poem is a great poem, arguably, and I think it certainly is a poem that has a lot of heft to it. James's poem goes beyond it, and then my poem again goes beyond James's poem. So, and that's the way it should be. And someone in 50 or 100 years, could write a poem, say, about a spider on, a cruiser to Mars, and bring it out to another level, perhaps, in ways that I can't envision. So that's just the way art is supposed to go. And the interesting thing about finding out, and I think it was you who found Jian's stuff and sent it to Jessica, and then she made me about it, is it's just interesting because his latest post is about Alex's book, and apparently he found me via Alex's blog. He apparently started writing and commenting on Alex's blog, and that's how he found out about my stuff. And it's just good to see that. The frustrating thing, though, is here's a 20-year-old kid, non-American, who speaks English, and I guess English, or Singlish as they call it in Singapore, I guess is the lingua franca in Singapore, that and I guess some form of Cantonese or Mandarin, whatever Chinese it is. But here he gets things, and I'd say he probably gets 85 to 90% of the things. The things that he doesn't get are generally a lot of cultural allusions and some of the deeper things. But it's interesting to see how he'll bring in his own interpretations about things that I had no idea about, but I can't really refute, because these poems were written by me, but they're not my poems. Jian's version of George Snyder Plays Handball, 1933, can be just as worthy, just as tenable as my interpretation, as long as he doesn't go, ridiculously in saying it's a metaphor for, the Nazi invasion of Poland in 1939 or something. That would be kind of silly. But when you bring in these little things, they are certainly tenable.